mother of 6. My children are 6 months. My little guy is in the back, and my oldest is 8 years old. It is a pleasure to be with you all this evening. All right, so I want to talk about being a courageous teen in 2018. Does that sound all right? It's kind of corny, I know, but I like it. Is there anyone in here who has any fears? Like, thank you. I love it. The first person to raise his hand, it was a young guy. Please clap for him. Everyone else to be so super brave. Like, you're too cool to be scared, but like, there are like some legit things in this world that are happening that are scary. So I'm gonna let you guys know I faced a major fear today, this morning, and I faced it 3 times. Guess what it was? Yes! I killed 3 spiders today. I woke up this morning, won't he do it? I woke up this morning for my hour of power with the Lord, and then I went to go wake up my children. So I go, like, you know, they're on bunk beds, and I go to my 7-year-old, and I'm just like, hey, good morning, you know, whatever, something weird. And I look up. And it was like the dramatic music, like if you guys have Instagram, and it's this one swipe that you do and it go like dun dun dun, you know, it goes real close. Well, that's what happened to me this morning. And I didn't want to freak them out because there's nothing like being scared when you wake up. You know, you want to wake up in a peaceful environment. So I'm like, I'm going to play this cool. But I see you. And I'm scared of you, but I see you. I'm not going to let you kill my son. I'm not going to let you kill him. I'm not going to lie. It was maybe no bigger than my pinky nail, but I was frightened. But you know, I had to put on my cape and I had to save my children because spiders are scary. And I didn't want him to have to deal with those problems. So I got up like a big girl. I went and got my little stool out the bathroom because the kids still use stools to get up to the sink. And I snatched that thing up. Second spider, I go over to my mom's house today to wash clothes. Praise the Lord for mothers. Yes. Thank you for moms and dads that let you come home and eat and use the washing machine. So I went to my mother's house today, hanging out in her bedroom, and there was a spider. These high spiders, they're so scary. I could get something on the floor, but those ones, they're just so high and intimidating, and I'm scared. But you know what? I put my cape on, and I was like, I'm going to be courageous, and I got that spider. Downstairs, my phone. I'm a social media addict. No, just kidding. But I do enjoy social media. I like filming things. I know you guys into Snapchat, Instagram. I'm with you. Facebook is kind of plagued, but I'm still on there too. I went to go charge my phone downstairs in the foyer, and it was a spider. I'm like, Jesus, this is definitely going to get incorporated because this was not the beginning of this. But I appreciate him for allowing me to be courageous, and I got that tissue, and I grabbed up that spider, and I threw it away. So, yeah, I'm pretty cool, guys. I kill spiders. Is a friend of a spider. We could pray about it later, and you guys, we can do counseling or whatever. And you know, I'm willing to change. No, but seriously, outside of my fear of spiders, there was something else that I was deathly afraid of as a child. Okay, well, as a teen, and that was my faith. My faith scared the mess out of me. Okay, my mother was pregnant with me going to Faith Fellowship 30 years ago. I'm 30 years old. I turned 30 this year. Whoop, whoop. 30 is the new 20. Y'all don't know about that because none of you guys are 20. But yeah, so I was a Faith Fellowship baby. I was up in this room and it wasn't this nice. It was not. It was very old looking. The big house, the big church, we used to raise money for that space. So it was just a little small, little something. But when I was a teenager, I was afraid of my faith. And everywhere that I went, my mother made everyone know that she believed in Jesus. And I'd be like, oh my goodness, Mom, do we always have to pray for people in the grocery store? Like, it's just embarrassing, Mom. It's absolutely embarrassing. There are people coming over the house. Families will lose their home. Oh, come stay in our basement. You know, I'm a missionary. It was just ridiculous. All she wanted to do was talk about Jesus, go to church on Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, over and over again. That was my life. My life was here. I did everything here. I probably learned how to walk and talk in this building, in this room probably. It was crazy. But I was frightened of my faith. My faith. I was the one girl in the room, does anybody believe in Jesus? And I'd be like, it was really crazy. And I can't actually tell you why I was so afraid. Partly because my friends and my peers, they didn't do the whole church thing. Since I am 30, it wasn't that long ago. But when I was 15, I don't know, church was just like a so-so thing. I think probably ages ago, everyone used to be believers and everything. But when I was growing up in school, it just was not, it wasn't cool. It wasn't cool, and it was very, very hard for me to stand up and be who God was calling me to be. I remember at Faith Fellowship, we had it wasn't a youth all-nighter, but it was like a revival. And we went to something called Acquire the Fire. And I remember this stirring in my spirit, like this experience. And I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know what this is, but I love it. I want to keep it. You get all on fire with Jesus and stuff like that. And I remember saying that day, like, God, I'm going to serve you. I don't care what those kids at school have to say to me. I don't care. I'm going to scream your name. I'm going to be on a bus stop with a Jesus t-shirt and a Jesus hat. Like, I rep this, Come Monday, I'm like, I went to a revival, and it was cool. So what you do there? I don't know, just hung out, with some kids, and it was cool. So being a teen for me was scary. My faith was scary. And now in 2018, I would be frightened to be a teen. Like there wasn't, Columbine had happened, but now there's school shootings, marches. Did you guys see that on the news? I don't watch the news often, but I saw teens stand up. Like, no, we're saying no, we're not allowing guns into our schools. But yeah, in 2018, there's so many more pressures now. Like your worth is built on likes and followers. How many people in here have social media? Raise your hand. Okay, so how many don't then? It's like 3. Stay there if you can, as long as you can. You don't need it, you really don't. Real life interactions are so much better. But nowadays, like the pressure was on back then, but now it's like, where you going? What you doing? Did you update your story? How many likes do you have? Oh, you're nobody because you have no likes. What you doing this weekend? Well, so-and-so had posted this and this. It's crazy to be a teen. And I'm gonna get really real with you guys, okay? I was in church 8 days a week. I was 8 days a week. I was in church 8 days a week. My mother was preaching and Jesusing and all that kind of stuff. And I was doing the exact opposite. The pressure to stand apart and to be set apart and to really be who the Lord was calling me to be was so hard. So when I went to school, I was cute, I was fast, I wasn't praying at all. I was sneaking out of my house in the middle of the night. I was driving drunk at 15. That's real, okay? I don't know, you guys probably are all super duper saved and those pressures are knocking on your door, but I lived about 15 minutes away from here in Bedford, Ohio, and the pressure was real. There were really drugs in school. There were really girls getting pregnant at like 12. There were really guys fighting and being hospitalized. It was scary. And I was all up in it. I was at every party. I drank every beverage. I didn't get into like cigarettes or whatever, but the beverages were wonderful at that time. I thought they were. But it was hard to be a courageous teen. Like I said, this was 15 years ago, so I couldn't imagine what it's like now. But once life happened because of the decisions that I made, I found myself at 23 with 2 children, and I was not married. I was a single mother. to Reverend Cynthia Johnson. Her daughter, who was in the church 8 days a week, became a single mother. Now that I'm 30, I can look back and I saw each and every step that led to that. It doesn't happen overnight. None of that stuff really does. But it was that, hey, you want to come to this party? Hey, you want to try this? Why don't you just roll up your shirt a little bit and your pants? I was a cheerleader and I was like really skinny back then, so I thought I was super cute. But, want to walk a certain way, flat iron your hair, maybe you're going to put a little eyeshadow on, a little bit of lipstick, listen to this music with these lyrics that I really don't know what they're saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. I just want to fit in because stepping out, being set apart was so hard. It was so hard. Another poll, because I'm corny like that. Have any of you guys ever experienced any form of peer pressure? Like, has any of your friends, y'all got some good friends. Okay, it's like 3 of y'all, okay. Has any of your friends or even your family members asked you guys to do something that you know your mom and dad or your auntie, uncle, whoever's raising you wouldn't approve of? It's real. It's real, and it's so hard. So I'm a definition person. The definition of courage is to do something even while frightened, okay? And I was not able to successfully do that as a teen. I wasn't. Every single thing that looked a little bit, well, I would say it was because my mother was super overprotective. I'll tell her that to this day. You were so overprotective, which made me super curious. But, and curiosity kills a cat or makes them single moms. I don't know. But don't get too curious. Don't get too curious, guys. But I wasn't able to be courageous. So when I found myself at 23 with 2 children, a year and a half apart, life hit, and it was real. Going out to the clubs, drinking those drinks, wearing those outfits, hanging out with those certain friends, none of that was cool anymore. It was real life. How are you going to feed these 2 children? Where are you going to live? Everything is like $849 for a 2-bedroom apartment, and you only make $30,000 a year. Like, stuff is not easy. Y'all probably don't have to pay bills right now, but bills get really real once you leave mom and dad's house. And everybody thank your mom and dad because bills are real. Bills are real. Like, how was I going to do that? So I found myself. I had to humble myself, and I moved back home with mom and dad. And then that's when I decided, Jesus, now I didn't heard about you for 23 years. Let's have a conversation. And I had to have a very courageous conversation with God. I had to tell him, dude, I knew who you was, but I wasn't trying to be your friend all like that because hanging out with you wasn't that cool. I've messed up. I have fallen very short. I am a major sinner because he knows it all. And I'm ready to start over. Just like a good daddy, he was like, all right, let's do this. Let's do this. So since the age of 23, these 7 years, I have been rocking with Jesus. He is my homeboy. We are best friends. He's my go-to. Like, my husband is cool and all, but Jesus, like, he is the truth. He is the truth. He's the way. He's everything to me. But 15 years ago, he was just super corny, and most of this stuff was like fictional. Like, I believe more in Marvel than I did the Bible. And Marvel's really cool, guys. I haven't seen Infinity Wars. No spoiler alert. But I had to come out and I had to have a real courageous conversation. I had to have a courageous conversation with my dad and my mom. Like, y'all did everything that you could. And I messed up. I fell short. Can I move in, though? I had to have a really courageous conversation with my boyfriend at the time, my children's father. I had to say, well, this isn't working. This isn't. And he's a pastor's kid too. This whole sex thing, this whole living together thing, this whole having children thing, like, this isn't cool. Like, I had no peace, I had no joy, I was questioning myself, and it was not cool. I had to come back to church and say, y'all, I messed up. I messed up. Okay, so I had to have some real courageous conversations. Something else that I had to do that was courageous was I had to make some courageous commitments. When I got pregnant with my second son, I immediately said, I ain't doing this again. Until I am married, I will wait. I will wait on a man who thinks that I'm worthy enough. And then in 2015, I meet this bald head guy, and now we are a family. We are a big blended family, but I had to make some courageous commitments to say, I'm going to abstain from this. I'm not going to dabble in these drugs. I'm not going to allow so-and-so to take me back to where I was a few years ago, because that life wasn't doing anything for me. Because when Jesus stepped in, and he stepped in a mighty way, it changed my life forever. After the courageous conversation and the courageous commitment, I then had to make courageous connections. So I started linking up with like-minded individuals, other sisters and brothers in Christ that were going to hold me accountable to my commitments and to my conversations that I was having with God and with other people. So I challenge you guys today, because I only got about 60 seconds. I want you guys, and I know this stuff is tempting. I know it is. I know it is. But to be courageous in this world, to be set apart, to be different, to make the difference, to make Jesus cool. Because we set the trends as young people, because I am young, I'm 30, I'm still I got at least 75 more years left. We set what is cool, okay? We do. And sometimes in our lives, we have to be the one to say, I'll be the courageous one. Mom and Dad, I know y'all strung out on drugs, but I'm going to do this for my family. And I never got to the verse, Jesus. But the verse that changed my life in my early 20s was 1 Timothy 4:12. It says, don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example for the believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. And that is what I'm challenging you guys to do, to be courageous teens in 2018 until eternity. You guys set the example. We're no longer letting our peers and our family influence who we are meant to be and we are created to be. We set the example. We do it in our speech, in the things that we're saying, in our conduct, how we're acting, and how we love one another, and how we embrace our brothers and our sisters, and how we even love on our enemies. We also do this in our faith, and we do this in our purity, okay? Stay committed to Jesus, stay pure, all that kind of sex is bad until marriage. Guys, I'm just going to leave you with this, to be a courageous teen in 2018. I dare you, because I love the good dare. Back in the day, that was really cool. I'd do anything with a dare. But I dare you to have courageous conversations. Speak boldly with God. Tell him who he is. And you're only going to know who he is by finding it in his word. Have courageous conversations with your friends. But most importantly, have courageous conversations with yourself. Positive self-talk is a lot. It's a lot. Who you tell yourself you are is who you're going to become. Have a courageous conversation and say, bruh, you don't have to be like them. You too good for that. You're too good. Like, sis, you're beautiful. They don't define your beauty. You define what is beautiful. You define what's in. Make courageous commitments. I'm going to do this. I'm going to stand on this word. I'm going to walk this life. I'm going to be exactly who I was created to be, and make courageous connections. Cut off everybody that can't go with you and embrace those who are going with you. We're going to be courageous teens and 30-year-olds in 2018. Thank you guys so very much for